Welcome back to the 41st Annual Dirt Diggers North Hangtown Classic just outside of Sacramento, California. It's your Racer X Motocross Show on allysports.com. Jason Weigandt and Mr. Rev Up Andy Bowyer here for your wrap-up. The 250 class, we knew it would be stacked. It was great at Glen Helen. It was great again today at Hangtown.
Couple great 250 motos, action all the way through the pack, all the way through the top 10. Guys coming from behind, guys getting out with early leads. Just awesome, phenomenal racing.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get to the highlights from moto number 1. Erin Normoyle, take it away.
Thanks, guys. Ryan Dungey and Christophe Purcell. Now, what a rivalry we have between those two guys. They're both Supercross champs. They're 1-2 in points, and they're 1-2 in times. It's going to be quite a race. Let's check it out.
All right, thanks, Erin. Dungey, Purcell, Barcia, so many contenders in this 250 class. Gate drops in moto number 1. And here we are in the first turn. Look at Barcia knife to the inside and grab that hole shot just like he was doing at Glen Helen. Blake Wharton is in there, Brett Metcalf in there, and of course the 377 of Purcell, but not in it is Ryan Dungey, who goes down in this pile, Andy.
Yeah, it was Dungey was probably a little bit nervous there with the championship, thinking about already. It's pretty early in the series, but going down the second corner is not good. Barcia, what more is this kid going to do? It wasn't a one-hit wonder, clearly. He's out there and running away from him again.
And, of course, the rest of the Geico Power Sports Honda team there as well. Also, Tommy Searle with another good start. But Barcia, the story early in Moto 1, just like it was at Glen Helen. He puts big-time distance on Purcell, Trey Kennard, Metcalf, and the rest on the first couple of laps. This kid was rolling.
Another trend I'm noticing there, look at those Geico Power Sports Hondas. Those things,
crazy.
There's a lot of them, and they're all in the top 5 and the top 10. It's those guys are looking really, really good so far in the 09 outdoor season.
The entire team in the top 10 overall last week at Glen Helen. Team manager J.C. Waterhouse says that's what we expect to do every week. And Justin Barcia obviously expects to win because he was pulling away further and further. Kennard put a great challenge toward Purcell for second. They put some distance between themselves and Metcalf. Meanwhile, Dungey fought all moto long from last to 7th. Not too shabby.
He knew he wasn't going to give up. He's probably the most fit rider in the field. He's got a lot of experience. He knows championship points are valuable, like I touched on earlier. But, you can start to see Purcell starting to put the moto together there as Barcia as they went later into the moto.
Absolutely. So just like what happened in the latter laps at Glen Helen, Purcell, that crafty Frenchman, was just sitting back there waiting, and then eventually he puts the challenge to Barcia. Barcia tried hard. He looked over a couple times. He tried to take the line away from Purcell. He wants to win one of those things now. Look at that right there in front of that crafty Frenchman, but it wasn't going to last.
No, you can kind of see it. Barcia has a small tendency right now to push way too hard in the beginning, and those motos are long, and the crafty one there just put him to school.
Yeah, Barcia looked over at him 3 different times, still couldn't figure out where the crafty one was going to go, and that puts the 377 into the lead. The last 2 laps, though, Barcia tried so hard to get him back. It was impressive.
Yeah, when you're in the lead of one of these things, you got thousands of crowds cheering you on, and you want to win the moto bad. You can taste the checkered flag. Barcia wanted to just try to fight back and get him.
But the whole time, Purcell just seemed to have it under control. That's the way he rides, man. Calculated, precise. Meanwhile, all out there on the 151 in that number 2 spot. But coming down to the line, Purcell, he's got the kid covered. And just like he did at the first moto at Glen Helen, Christophe Purcell wins Moto 1 at Hangtown. Look how close Barcia was at the finish. He was disappointed with that second place. They're up on the podium along with Kennard.
For Ryan Dungey in moto number 1, he went down in the second turn, preventing him from being up on that podium. Now, Justin Barcia definitely has the speed. He's getting closer and closer to that checkered flag every moto. Can he do it this one? Let's find out.
Christophe Pourcel trying to make the magic work in Moto 2 at Hangtown where he could not at Glen Helen. Ryan Dungey certainly turned his starts around. He gets the whole shot in Moto number 2, Andy.
You know, for the first time this season, Justin Barcia wasn't in the top 3 on the start. He was way at the back, and everybody's like, well, what can this kid do? Can he come through the pack? Boy, he gave it a good effort.
Yeah, he came to the pack for a little while. There's Blake Wharton in second, Pourcel in third. Wharton rode super hard to try to keep Dungey in sight as Dungey tried to sprint and get away. Wharton rode so hard that he eventually fell and dropped back to 5th. There's more of those Geico Power Sports Hondas.
There's a bunch of them. They're all really fast. They're young, and the bikes look like they have a lot of steam in them this year. Dungey got in the lead right there, and I wasn't really thinking anybody was going to get him. But look at Wharton, and there's Pourcel, another Geico guy, Kennard. Those guys were flying in the top 5.
Eventually, Wharton would crash back to 5th. That would give Dungey a little bit of a lead, but can I say the term again? That crafty Frenchman would begin to march toward Dungey at the midway point of the moto. Meanwhile, the Kawasaki freight train, you had Austin Stroop, Jake Weimer, Tyler Rattray, and PJ Larson all in a train. Go a little further back, you got Max Anstey and the fellow Englishman of Tommy Searle battling with Barcia.
Wow.
Watch this battle for 6. Barcia battling with Brock Tickle. He gets him. Tickle stays on his wheel and eventually would work to get him back.
Yeah, I could tell that was halfway through the moto. I looked down at my watch. It was 15 minutes, and I was like, well, I don't think he's going to go much further than Tickle. Well, he didn't go any further. He actually started going backwards.
Tickle put a hard pass on him, and then Barcia goes down. There he is on the inside, and you just miss Austin Stroop there. Got collected with Barcia's down motorcycle. They were down and out of this moto. Tough break for Barcia, but even worse for Stroop, who really had nothing to do with that incident.
Yeah, Stroop got back up. He was hit his head a little bit there. I think he's going to be okay, but that was an unfortunate deal. And these guys are racing really hard. And just look how hard Dungey's pushing with that big lead.
Yeah, there's Pourcel back there at second. He knows the overall will be his with a 1-2. Dungey just wants to win this moto to avenge the 7th from the back in moto number 1. So well done for both of these guys. They know they're in for the championship long haul. And Trey Kennard, solid all day, 3-3.
There's a guy that's going to win one of these really soon. Trey's trying really hard. You know, you can tell he's really focused. Like we said, the bikes are working good. Trey knows how to win races, and it's not going to be too much longer.
World Championship rematch there with Searle and Rattray, Jake Weimer in the middle of that. Those guys battled all the way to the checkered flag, and when it came out, it was Ryan Dungey winning the second moto for the second straight week. But Pourcel takes the overall. Second in the moto is actually going to be credited to Kennard due to a quick penalty put on Pourcel when he jumped when a couple other riders were down. Either way, Pourcel's the overall winner. Dungey third on the day. Metcalf and Rattray round out the top 5. Let's go to the press conference.
Yeah, it was definitely a disappointment. You know, I was right up there, I think third or something, and just got hit a little bit and went off the jump a little sideways. And I had it saved, but I was like, well, there's 30 guys behind us coming, so either I'm going to get landed on or I'm going to save it. But just ended up going down, getting hit, and just from that point on, just try to make the best of it. You know, I don't think, I just tried to quit dawning on it and pick as many people off as I could. You know, I was pretty far down, and so to come back for 7th, I didn't think was too bad. I think each race I try to do the best I can, obviously, but yeah, I mean, Hangtown's been pretty good to me, and I was actually quite surprised to even get third overall with the 7-1, and it's kind of out there a little bit, but I think after the first moto, you know, all I could really do was go out there and win it, and it's kind of helps out, you know, because each race we get points. You know, it's not just the overall, you know, counts and it's good, but each moto at a time is what we're going for. But you know, I knew what I had to do, come out, and finally got a good hole shot. I've been waiting on that one, and then just kind of took it from there and rode like all I could, and I think overall it was pretty good. You know, and I kind of looked at it like, hey, you know, being in the first moto, what happened, and I'm not one to give up, and you know, I just look like, hey, it's a test. You know, there's going to be ups and downs, and the saying like, it's not how you do on your good days, but how you do on your bad. And I really feel like, you know, coming out and winning that moto, I did what I had to do. You know, I really proved to myself a lot there, and hey, it was a test, and hopefully we passed it. But next weekend, looking forward to that, and staying up this time.
It's just bits and pieces. You know, obviously, if I knew, I'd be the next guy in line. But you know, just got to keep my head down and keep giving effort that I give, and my time will come. You know, I just got to keep my head down, and you know, I can't complain about a third either. You know, last year I left here just banged up, and I got another hard charger award. So you know, we'll see. We'll just keep putting the effort that we're putting in and be a contender in the end. Yeah, the heat's going to be a huge factor next week. So, you know, like I said, I just got to put in my effort and show up ready. You know, it's going to be hot, so good preparation this week and good time in between motos is going to be key. So just got to show up and make sure I do wear my SPF, and we'll see how it goes.
You know, this kid Barcia was awesome at the beginning of the moto, and I was pretty surprised to see him go so fast at the beginning of the moto. So I just let him go and waiting for him to be tired and try to catch him at the end of the moto, and it's what I did, and I think that was a good idea to do it, and really happy to just ride smooth, and you know, I think Barcia is pretty dangerous on the track, and I didn't want to make some mistake and lose the championship on something like that right now, the second race. So it was good. You know, I think you have to see who is the guy in front of you, and so you're gonna know how you're gonna ride, and if you have to follow him or pass him at the first lap or something like that. So I knew that this kid was really fast at the beginning, like in Glen Helen. So I just let him go, and that's it. But I think if it's someone else, I won't do the same thing. I think I'm trying to ride this move because you know, since my injury, I'm every time sick and all the stuff like that before the moto, and it's not easy for me to get up on the bike and ride and have fun. So I'm just in pain every time, and it's why I'm riding really smooth like that, and I don't really want to crash again like I did. So
Okay, as we leave daylight behind in Hangtown as well, we're pumped on this 250 class. Dungey and Porcel looks like they'll be going back and forth all season long for this championship with a whole bunch of spoilers that want to win some races.
Yeah, it's going to be great. You know, I pictured there be about a dozen winners this year, and that's looking like it's going to be like that. We got two guys that are starting to stretch it out a little bit, but a lot of hungry guys wanting that first one this year.
Don't forget, we'll have coverage of the first and second motos on Speed, 2 p.m. Eastern time on Tuesday in HD. Make sure you see that show because the action in the 250 class is great. For the 41st annual Dirt Diggers North Hangtown Classic, he's Andy Bowyer. I'm Jason Weigandt. It's your Racer X Motocross Show on AllySports.com. Thanks for watching.
What SPF were you using today, Trey?
I was 90. Actually.
90, yeah.
Yeah. It was non-sweat too. It worked good.
What's the story with the haircut? What's the inspiration behind that?
Changing it up, you know. I'm always a hat guy, so I had to do something.